Testing. Hello. All right, good evening. All right, good afternoon and welcome to Shelby, Montana. We're over in the middle school, junior high. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, as the Valkyries will get to take on the Sugar Beaters from Chinook High School here. We're running behind that last exciting game between Wolf Point and Florence Carlton, coming back and winning on the boys' side. The Valkyries going to take on the Sugar Beaters here. We're about 9 minutes till tip-off. I'll get you your starting lineups, and this pregame brought to you by the Bigfork Dental Center. Dr. Aaron Price and team at Bigfork Dental Center are proud to support Vikes and Vals athletics. See Dr. Aaron Price and our dental team for all of your dental needs, including digital radiographs, tooth-colored fillings, crowns, bridges, implants, dentures, and much more. Now accepting new patients of all ages. Call today at 837-5611 or see BigForkDental.com, and thank the Bigfork Dental Center and Dr. Aaron Price for sponsorship of Bigfork Athletics. Well, before the ball game, I had a chance to sit down and talk with the first-year head coach for the Valkyries, Courtney Gunlock, and this is what she had to say heading into today's ball game.
All right, here on the pregame show, I'm with first-year head coach Courtney Gunlock of the Bigfork Valkyries as they get ready to take on the Sugar Beaters here this afternoon at the Coyote Tip-Off Classic and their second game. Good afternoon, Coach.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Hey, I want to say yesterday, a tale of two halves really in that ball game against Malta, and I thought in the second half you guys did a great job and got down by 10 but battled back to tie it up, and you had two shots to win it in regulation. Talk about that game and the feeling of the kids afterwards at battling.
Yeah, no, they were obviously nervous, first game jitters, and I think that showed in the first half some. And I was pleased at some of the adjustments they made in the second half. We definitely rebounded much better. And they, 10 points down, they didn't give up, and they worked their butts off. I was really proud of their effort. We did have two shots to win the game and came up a little short, but there were a lot of good things that came out of that game going forward. Yeah,
I mean, they battle hard. You got doubled up on rebounds by the stats in the first half. But I really thought, especially Ansley Edgerton in the second half and in the fourth quarter, really dominated on the boards and came up with some huge key rebounds. And then Santa Stephen, that step back three-pointer, take the lead.
Yeah, no, Ansley definitely stepped up in the second half and rebounded better, and the other girls were blocking out better. We cut down our turnovers significantly in the second half, which was obviously a difference, and when we met man, we had good ball pressure, and that really frustrated them, so I was happy with that.
Yeah, it's a good effort, and the girls, like I said, and you said, they didn't give up. They kept playing and they kept battling, and I think Malta was a little surprised that you came back like that. Pretty good balanced scoring with Barrick leading the way with 14, and I think Santa Stephen had 13, and then 10 by Edgerton. So you're not getting scoring for just one person. You're getting a balance, and really those seniors stepping up.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, they showed their leadership that night, and I think Ashton did a great job bringing the ball down and taking care of it. She didn't score a lot, but that was key to us breaking their press. And I thought Maddie Chapias came off the bench and played really great defense on one of their better guards and shut her down.
Yeah, she did a great job as a freshman, and I forgot to mention Ashley. Ashley did a great job, especially in the second half, of handling that ball and handling the pressure and taking it. I thought a couple times, she just driving it in, she just finished at the rim. A big difference there, but she did a great job as well. You take on Chinook. You haven't seen them before. Have you saw any film or anything? What do you have to do today to get in the W?
Well, we definitely can't have a letdown after a hard-fought game last night. Girls are obviously, legs are a little tired, so we need to make sure we're ready to play. And we need to keep executing. We need to learn from some of the mistakes we made last night and keep improving. But the biggest thing is to just just continue to work real hard and be a team.
Yep, that sounds like a great opportunity today. We look forward to watching the girls this afternoon and see how they do against Chinook. So, Coach, thanks for joining me on the pregame show, and good luck against Chinook.
Thank you.
All right, that was head coach Courtney Gunlock on the pregame show just before this game. I had a chance to sit down and talk with her. Thanks for giving her time and talking about the girls in last night's game. You know, down by 10, come back and send it to, tied up at 42, or go ahead 42-40, then had a chance there at the end before we went in overtime, and they battled strong. So today, different matchup with Chinook and the Sugar Beaters. And look at the starting lineups. Looking at the lineup for Chinook, they do not have one senior on the ball club, and they'll start a 5'3" junior guard, Jade Cicero, CECR8 Cicero, I'm gonna say, and a 5'5" freshman guard, Lexi Pitkanen, and 5'3" junior guard, Jaden Miller, wearing number 24. Number 34 is Louise Suber, and we have 5'3" junior guard, and a sophomore forward at 5'6", number 44, Allison Powell, for head coach Mike Jones, assisted by Taryn Schmidt and Tammy Schoen. That is your starting lineup for Chinook. And for the Valkyries, we're going to start the same lineup as they did yesterday, talking to head coach Courtney Gunlock. It'll be the sophomore guard at 5'7", number 11, Emma Beth. 5'5", a junior guard, number 14, Audrey Benz. And at the post, a senior at 5'8", number 24, Ensley Edgerton. At a guard forward, a 5'7" senior. It'll be number 33, Isabella Santa-Stephen. And a 5'5" senior guard and forward, number 40, Ashton McInerney, for head coach Courtney Gunlock, assisted by Jasper Torres and Brandy Couture. I've got about 2 minutes till we tip off here over at the Chinook Middle School Junior High Gymnasium. Nice little gymnasium over here to watch basketball. And we'll see how the Valkyries can do today. You know, like yesterday, they battled back. Let's see if they get after it today. Should have a distinct advantage. Their tallest player for Chinook is 5'11", as a freshman, and they're a very young team. A lot of freshmen on the team. One sophomore, check that, two sophomore, three juniors on that team, and 6 freshmen. So a very young team for Chinook, so hope the Valkyries with their senior leadership can get out against them. We're back with the tip-off from Shelby, Montana, and the Coyote Tip-Off Classic momentarily. 406-270-7384. Text me if you're listening. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Likes of Vals with Shelby, Montana, getting ready for the tip-off. All right, this is James LaFontaine with you, and welcome back to Shelby, Montana. It's the Valkyries taking on the Chinook Sugar Beaters from Shelby, Montana. And let's see what the Valkyries have for themselves in store today. Tip-off brought to you by the Bigfork Harvest Foods for all your grocery needs, including an amazing bakery, deli, produce, all kinds of stuff at the Bigfork Harvest Foods. All your grocery needs can be supplied right there. 8111 Highway 35 in Bigfork, Montana, 837-5010. Say hi to Marcus Bagos and the gang at Bigfork Harvest Foods. We're ready for the tip. It'll be Edgerton tipping off against Powell for Chinook. And here we go. Edgerton, backcourt. Santa Stephen gets it off the Beth. Bigfork in their black with blue uniforms, lettering and numbers, and Chinook in their white home team numbers. McInerney with the basketball, dribbling in the middle, loses it. She'll lose it to Sorrell. Feeds it underneath. And putting up the shot. And no good. Edgerton with the rebound. Is Miller. Misses that basket. And Benz dribbles it up court. Loses it for a moment. Gathers it. Sends it out to Barrett with a 3-point shot on the way up the rim there. No good. And Miller will come up with the rebound for Chinook. Cicero out to Pickett, and top of the key to Powell. Powell's going to feed it over to Suber. Suber going to drive. McAnally guarding her. On the baseline, kicks it out to Powell. Powell shot in the way from the right elbow is good for 2. And Chinook takes a 2-point lead. Audrey Benz quick up across the timeline. Feeds over to McAnally. McAnally left wing. Going to drive to the middle. Kicks it off to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive. Left-handed shot up and good. No good off the backboard. But she'll go to the free throw line and shoot 2. And the foul is going to be on number 44. That's Allison Powell. That'll be her first and the team first foul on Chinook. Barrett to the line to shoot 2. First shot is up and good by Barrett. And she'll get it one more. Second shot up, out, in and out, off the rim. And out of bounds off Powell. As pressure from McAnally and Santa Stephen caused the turnover. It'll be Bigfork basketball underneath, and Benz will take it on the far end. And inbound. Looking for McAnally. Finds it back door to Edgerton. Edgerton. Crossover dribble through the middle, gets tripped up and knocked down as he's trying to go up for a shot. And she'll be fouled. And the foul is going to be on number 24. That's Jaden Miller, her first and second team foul. They can say it's on the floor. Inbound to McAnally, over to Benz, underneath to Edgerton. Edgerton out to Barrett. Barrett looking to drive, left side, up and under, and she can't get it up. And they're going to call the player control foul on number 11, Emma Barrett. And that'll be her first personal and first team foul on the Valkyries. Cicero brings it up, gives it up to Pickett. Pickett in the corner, guarded by Barrett. Out top, over to Powell. Powell sticks it out to Suber. Suber underneath feeds Cicero. And stolen away by Benz. Benz back. Cicero picks it up, kicks it out. And on the drive is number 24, Miller. Miller, guarded by Santa Stevens, ties her up. And it'll be held ball. And the held ball belongs to Chinook, as Bigfork won the tip. So Chinook ball right underneath me, and Pitkanen will take it inbounds for Chinook, looking for somebody. Feeds the far side, shot up by number 2. That's Cicero. And the rebound off of Bigfork and out of bounds. It'll be Chinook basketball. Inbounding is Pitkanen. Out to Cicero, thought about the 3-point drives on it, kicks it out to Miller. Miller shot in the way off the rim. 3-point shot, no good. And Edgerton will come up with it. And McAnally with the basketball. McAnally dribble across the timeline. In the front court, far right side. On the elbow extended. She's going to dribble across to the left. Gives it up to Benz. Benz on the drive. Up and off the backboard, and no good by Benz, but Benz gets fouled on the play, and she'll go to the free throw line and shooting 2 for Bigfork. 2-1 Chinook on your Bigfork Harvest Foods scoreboard. 5:38 to go here in the first quarter. First shot up and nothing but the knot on the net for Benz, and she'll get one more. She ties the game at 2. Second shot on the way, and bottom of the net, the Valkyries take the lead, 3-2. Cicero up the court, feeds it over to Serber, over to Miller. Miller looking, harassing by Bigfork and their defense. Cicero at top, going to feed it out to Pitkanen. Pitkanen looking, can't find anybody. Pressure by Benz. Miller with the basketball, getting pressure by Barrett. Barrett nearly steals it away, picks it up. And before the turnover, timeout will be taken by Chinook. And looks like Chinook, they're calling for a 30-second timeout. A full timeout. They can't make up their mind over there. They sat down and he signals a 30-second timeout, but actually it is a full timeout. This timeout here in the ballgame brought to you by the Montana Athletic Club. What's keeping you from getting fit? Discounted guest passes, personal training, Pilates, much, much more. 850 Holt Drive in Bigfork, 837-2582. Doug Malum and the gang, Nancy Malum. Thank you for sponsoring Bigfork Athletics over there at the Montana Athletic Club. A little slow start. Valkyries lead 3-2 here in quarter number 1. And looking to get off to a good start in this ball game. James LaFontaine with you. Voice of the Vikes of the Vals here from Shelby, Montana in the Tip-Off Classic. We're over here in the junior high gymnasium playing the ball game. It will be Chinook basketball in the front court on the far side. And Suber will inbound. She'll give it up to number 4, Bree Swanson, who's now in the ball game. And enters it, tries to get it to Miller, slapped away, and foul on number 24 for Bigfork, Ansley Edgerton, her first and the second team foul on Bigfork. Miller trying to inbound. Baseline, over to Powell, Powell back, throws up the shot, and Edgerton nearly comes up with it. McIntyre's going to come with the loose ball. Nope. It's going to brought down by Swanson. Swanson nearly thrown out of bounds, and kick is very sloppy. As kicked out of bounds by 24, Jaden Miller. It'll be Bigfork basketball. And McIntyre comes out of the ball game, and number 10, Meredith Bedford, in for Bigfork. She'll bring it across the timeline, looking to set things up. Crosses over the top. Feeds Isabel Santa-Steven in the left corner. Santa-Steven with the basketball. Looking to drive. Looking to get open for a shot. Drives on the right side. Gives it off to Benz. Benz with the basketball. Saves it. Going to get it out to Santa-Steven. Santa-Steven looking to drive. Shot. Goes up to Edgerton. Edgerton underneath. Looking off the backboard. Off the rim. Rolls around and drops for 2 for Ansley Edgerton. And 5-2 with 4:17 to go. The Valkyries lead. Sorrell up. Gives it over to Swanson. Swanson with the basketball top of the key. Sorrell, right, left wing. And feed down the baseline. Shot up. And no good by Suber. And Bigfork has the rebound, but taken away by Swanson. Swanson's going to get out. Suber looks to kick it out. Gives it to Sorrell. Sorrell on the drive. Throws it off the backboard. Too strong, no good. And Benz comes up with a loose ball, and she's going to get fouled in the backcourt. There's 2 Chinook beaters right there, and one of them is going to get called for the foul. And the foul's going to be called on number 2, Jade Cicero. And that will be her first. And the 14th foul on Chinook. Bedford in the front court, across the timeline. Feeds it over to Beth on the right wing. Beth looking underneath to Edgerton. Edgerton kicks it out. Shot up by Beth on the baseline. Just a little bit strong, no good. And rebound by Sorrell. Or Cicero. And up court, pass intended for Miller, knocked out of bounds by Beth. It will remain Chinook basketball in the ball game. Number 12, Lexi Pitkinen returning to the lineup for Chinook. And Swanson with the basketball. Swanson over Sorrell. 3-point shot off the backboard, no good. Missed everything. Shot put back up by number 24, Jaden Miller for 2, and a 5-4 Bigfork lead with 3:12 to go. Aubrey Benz, top of the key. Looking to set up everything for Bigfork. Crossover left, gives it to Edgerton. Edgerton shot up from the right elbow. Good for 2. It's 7-4. The Valkyries lead by 3. Inbound. Pressure in the backcourt by Santa-Steven. Cicero brings it up. Ben's right there. Looks to take it away, and Audrey Benz steals it. She's going to go coast to coast and try up off the backboard. It's good for 2. Audrey Benz with a steal and the bucket for the Valkyries. 9-4, 2:35 to go. Cicero with the basketball, gives it over to Swanson. Swanson looking on the far side. He gives it Pickenin with the basketball, crosses over, gives up her dribble. Now she's trapped out top over to Cicero. Down in the corner, gives it out to Swanson. And Barrett is going to go for it. And she's going to get called for the foul as check that. Barrett going for the basketball. She's fouled by number 2, Jade Cicero. That is her second and 15 fouls. She'll have to come out of the ball game. And 34, Lexi Suber returns. Bedford inbounding to Benz. Benz going to walk it over to the left side, looking for Santa Steve in the corner. She's going to drive right, kicks it to 21 Chapius. Chapius in the ball game. Barrett on the drive goes Bedford, and she's going to call for the traveling call and turnover to Bigfork in 9-4 and 2:04. 21. Madison Chapius in the ball game for Bigfork. Dribbling up is Super looking to drive, and not double dribble anymore, but they call it illegal dribble, which is like double dribble. Turnover by Chinook. Bigfork basketball. Inbounds. Benz will bring it in the timeline in the front court. Benz will go to the left side. Feeds out to Santa Stevens on the left wing. Looking to drive, looks underneath. Finds Chapius. Chapius finds Bedford underneath off the backboard and no good. A little bit strong by Meredith Bedford, and she held ball as Edgerton ties up. Number 24, Miller in the backcourt. It'll be Bigfork basketball under their own basket on the near side. And Scout Nadeau in the ball game. Feeds up to Edgerton. Edgerton shot up a little bit strong, but Nadeau gets the rebound. Looking to take it back up. And Chapius with the basketball kicks it out. Santa Stevens 3-point shot on the way. Oh, off the front of the rim, but Santa Stevens going to hustle it down and get her own rebound. Feeds it out to Bedford. Bedford, top of the key, feeds it underneath. Edgerton, right spin, off the backboard. Oh, a little bit strong. Edgerton goes in, but she's going to be over the back, I believe, and called for that foul. And that is Edgerton's, the team's third and Edgerton's second. 1:17 to go, and 9-4 on your Bigfork Dental scoreboard. The Valkyries lead. So Santa Stevens, Chapius, Scout Nadeau, McAnally, and Bedford are in the ball game. Knocked away by Santa Stevens out of bounds in the front court. It'll be Chinook basketball, and Pitkanen will take it out of bounds. Inbounds. She gets it over to Swanson. Swanson looking to drive. Back to Pitkanen. 3-point shot on the way is good by Pitkanen. And 7-9. 9-7 the Valkyries lead. Bedford up the court quickly. Gives it up. And illegal dribble by Bedford. She didn't stop. And tried to pass it when she was still moving. And turns it over. And Benz will come back in the ballgame for Meredith Bedford. And they're going to run a man-to-man defense. Swanson in the corner for Miller. Miller looking to drive baseline. Miller steps on the baseline and gets it over to Suber. Suber up to Miller. Miller hits it at the bottom of the backboard. No good. And swinging her arms is Powell. Powell shot up by Suber is no good and out of bounds. Knocked out of bounds by the Valkyries. 36.6 seconds to go. The Valkyries lead by score of 9-7 here in the first quarter. Inbounding is Pitkanen. Pitkanen looking for somebody. Gets to the top of the key. Over to Miller. Miller looking to drive. And chased down by, and stolen away the pass by McAnally. McAnally is going to dribble up and probably hold for one shot here as coach calls out the play. Underneath, she gets it to 22, Scout Nadeau off the backboard and good by Nadeau. And 11-7, the Valkyries lead. Up to Swanson. Swanson quickly up the court with 10 seconds to go. Looks underneath. Throws it far side to Miller. Miller shot from 3-point line off the rim and no good. Out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball. 3.6 to go here in quarter number 1. 11-7. And number 20. Anna Terry comes in for Chinook with 3.6 to go. Here goes Chapius, got to give the shot up. She gets it up off the backboard, but she got it off late. they say, and no good. As Chapius drives to the hole, gets it up, but released it just a little bit late. And the end of the first quarter, it is the Bigfork Valkyries 11 and the Chinook Sugar Beaters 7. Here from Shelby, Montana, James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, with you. We're back with more of the first half here from Shelby, Montana. All right, once again, welcome back to Shelby, Montana, the Coyote Tip-Off Classic. It's the Valkyries taking on the Sugar Beaters. Bigfork against Chinook, and a good first quarter for the Valkyries. They lead 11-7 after one quarter, and it'll be Chinook's basketball to start quarter number 2. Second quarter brought to you by Bigfork Harvest Foods. And inbound to Swanson. Chapius on her, and slipping and traveling is number 34. That's Suber. Might be something on the floor right there. They're going to wipe it up before they continue on. And McAnally, Benz, Chapius, Santa Stephen, and Scout Nadeau in the ball game for Bigfork. It is number 4, Bree Swanson, 44, Allison Powell, 20, Anna Terry, 12 is Lexi Pitkinen, and 34 is Lily Suber for Chinook. Bands on the drive, free throw line, gives it out to McIntyre. McIntyre looks and finds Santa Steve at top of the key, over to Chapius. Chapius looking to drive up and under. Chapius puts it up off the rim, just a little bit short, and misses it. And rebound by Suber for Chinook. She'll bring it up in the front court. She gets bumped by Chapius. And that'll be the 14th foul on Bigfork and the first on Madison Chapius here in the first half. Inbound, Swanson gives it over to Suber. Suber looking to pass, knocked away and stolen by McAnally as Chapius knocks it away. And McAnally comes up with it, takes it across the timeline on the right wing, looking, gives it up to Benz. Benz on and driving. Kicks it out. Madison Chapius, three-point shot in the way, off the rim and no good. And rebounded by Pitkinen for Chinook. Over to Swanson. Terry with the basketball. Gives it up to Pitkinen. Shot in the way, no good. And Scout Nadeau with the rebound gives it over to the other freshman, Madison Chapius. She's going to bring it across the timeline for Bigfork. Chapius looking. Drives right side, looking underneath, finds Scout Nadeau. Nadeau can't take it up, and it'll be a held ball. And possession arrow points towards Bigfork with 6:35 to go here in the first half. And re-entering the ball game is 124. Jaden Miller comes in for Allison Powell. And Chinook underneath, inbounding. Right to McAnally, off the backboard, and just misses it. A nice pass from Benz. Got a finish there. Swanson with the basketball, bringing up the court. Ben's right there with her. Out to Pitkinen, over in the corner to Miller. Miller looking underneath. Guarded there by Chapius. Chapius giving her a hard time. McAnally guarded Pitkinen. Pitkinen trapped and stolen away by Chapius on a nice dive at the basketball. Chapius will go coast to coast off the backboard, lost it, but Ben's right there, puts it back up and no good, and she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2 on a nice follow by Audrey Benz. Fouls at number 24. Jaden Miller, her second and 16th foul. And Audrey Benz goes in line to shoot 2 for Bigfork. First shot up is good by Audrey. Edgerton will return along with Barrett for Bigfork. And McAnally and Santa Steva will get a breathers. Benz will get one more for the Valkyries as they lead 12-7 with 6:06 to go to halftime. Ben's second shot off the rim and no good, and rebounded by Suber. Pressure in the backboard cut by Benz, throws it up and caught by Miller. Miller in the front court, right wing. She'll feed it in the corner to Swanson. Swanson throws up the three-pointer. No good. Rebound come up with Chapius coming up with loose ball. Tries to dribble around, kicks it, and Swanson throws it up. Foul from behind by Scout Nadeau, it looks like. And she'll go to the free throw line and shoot two for Chinook. 5:47 to go, 12-7, a 5-point lead by the Valkyries on your Montana Athletic scoreboard. And at the line, shooting two, is number 4, Bree Swanson. That foul was on number 22, Scout Nadeau, her first and 16th foul. And number 14, Anna Morrow, comes in, replacing Pickenen for Chinook. Second shot on the way. Off the rim and no good. Edgerton does a great job boxing out, gets the rebound, and gives it over to Chapius. Chapius up the right side, looking to cross over off the foot. 34, Suber. And it'll be main Bigfork basketball in the front court, and Chapius brings it into Beth. Beth looking to drive left-handed, gives it over to Scout Nadeau. Scout Nadeau on the drive, off the rim and no good, but Edgerton right there with the rebound and can't come up with it. And Miller comes away with Chinook with the basketball dribble at the right court, and Ben's going to harass her right there. Knocked away. Cicero in the round. Beth getting on the floor, and Swanson kicks it out. Suber, the shot in the way, no good, and Scout Nadeau with the rebound, kicks it out. Audrey Benz will bring it up quickly, and she's looking, gives it up to Scout Nadeau. Scout Nadeau underneath to Anslow Edgerton. Check that Barrett. Well, on the drive, gives it up to Edgerton, who was open underneath, but she gets fouled before the pass, or on the pass, and Barrett will go to the free throw line. Swanson with her first, the 17th foul, and a 1-on-1 for Emma Barrett for Bigfork. First shot on the way is good by Barrett, and she'll get the bonus, one more. 13-7, 5:03 to go, and Allison Powell will return to the lineup for Chinook. And Beth will get one more for the Valkyries. Shot up is good. Nothing but the bottom net by Beth. And a 14-7 doubling up Chinook lead on the Bigfork Dental scoreboard. Over to Surreal, puts a shot up. No good. Allison Powell, no good. Rebounded there by Benz. Benz going to bring it up quickly as they're looking to attack. Benz going to go all the way. Nearly taken away. Benz picks it back up, gets it out to Chapius. Chapius underneath, looking for Edgerton. Edgerton's shot no good. Santa Stephen, or check that. Nadeau right there, looking underneath, finds Edgerton. Edgerton's shot up off the rim and no good. Benz with the rebound, and Benz going to kick it out. And Chapius comes up with the loose ball. He's going to feed it out to Benz. Benz looking underneath on the right wing, gives it out to Edgerton. Edgerton looking to drive, and kicked out of bounds. Off of Chinook. It'll be Bigfork basketball under the far end, under their own basket with 4:20 to go, and a double up 14-7 lead on the Sugar Beaters. Edgerton inbound. Scout Nadeau over to Benz. Right wing under to Edgerton. Edgerton's shot goes up and off the rim, but she's fouled on the shot. She'll go to the line and shoot two for Bigfork. As I told her last night, when she shoot free throws, don't shoot it so hard. Right in the bucket. We'll see how she does today. 4:15 to go. 14-7. Valkyries lead Chinook. Edgerton. Shot a little bit hard and off. And she'll get one more. Beth, Benz, Edgerton, Nadeau, and Chapius in the ball game for Bigfork. Second shot on the way is no good. And rebounded there by Chinook. And Jade Cicero, and she's going to get fouled in the backcourt by 21. Check that, 22. Scout Nadeau, that's her second and 16th foul. The next one, and Chinook will be in the bonus. Gives it up Swanson. Swanson overthrows Powell and out of bounds. It'll be Bigfork basketball. 4:06 to go. And 14-7 on the Bigfork Harvest Foods scoreboard. Benz gets it into Chapius, back to Benz. Benz will bring it up across the timeline for Bigfork. She's going to go up the left side. Nadeau in the corner at the left side. Edgerton looking, sets the screen. Looking for Edgerton. Edgerton trying to get the ball inside to her. And she's knocked down. Gets it out. Beth on the drive. She's grabbed. And she's going to shoot free throws as Edgerton gets knocked to the floor. But Beth picks up the loose ball and drives it at the basket. And a 1-and-1 for Beth. And Bedford will come in the game for Audrey Benz with 3:48 to go. So Beth at the line, shooting 1-and-1. A little hard in the first one. Chapius right there. And she's going to be called over the back. Is 21. And that'll put Chinook in the bonus. That is Chapia's second foul and 17th foul on the Valkyries. And going to the line, shooting 1-and-1 for Chinook is number 34, Lily Suber. Valkyries got to do a good job to box out. First shot off the rim and no good. And Edgerton right there. And off of Edgerton. She can't quite come up with the rebound. Good job boxing out, but didn't come up with it. And off of her, out of bounds. And it'll be Chinook basketball under their own basket. Looking, feeds it up underneath. Feeds it down to Powell. Powell goes up with the left-handed shot, makes it for two, and 9-14. And Bedford with the basketball across the timeline. On the left wing, gives it over to Scout Nadeau. Nadeau looking to drive, gives it over to Edgerton. Edgerton can't handle the pass. A little bit strong by Scout Nadeau, getting used to Edgerton, these seniors playing with these freshmen. And McAnally will return for Scout Nadeau, and returning is Lexi Pitkinen for Chinook. Chinook basketball underneath, 3:26 and counting here in the first half. Cicero inbounded, picking in with the basketball over to Swanson. Swanson in the left corner, stolen away by Beth. Intercepts the pass. Beth looking to attack, holds it out. Top of the key is Beth. Feeds it over to McAnally. 3-point shot by McAnally on the way, no good. And Meredith Bedford fighting for the rebound, but dribbles it out of bounds. And it'll be turnover. It'll be Chinook basketball. 14-9, the Valkyries lead. Cicero with the basketball coming across the timeline. Over to Swanson on the left wing. Out to Cicero, over to Pitkinen. Pitkinen out to Cicero. Cicero looking to drive, gets over to Pitkinen, 3-point shot on the way to Pitkinen, off the backboard, no good. A nice rebound there by Edgerton, and she gives it up to McAnally. McAnally, left side, 2:35 and counting. She's going to drive it in. Nice screen. McAnally all the way out the backboard. And good for two on the right-handed sweep hook by Ashton McAnally, and a 16-9 lead for the Valkyries. Cicero up front court. Swanson on the left wing. Kicks it out underneath. Finds and tipped out by Bigfork, but Swanson comes up with the loose ball. Cicero with the basketball, double teamed right there, looking to drive. Kicks it over to Suber, who shoots it up and good from the baseline. And a 16-11 5-point lead by the Valkyries. Under 2 minutes to go to halftime. Bedford across the timeline. Dribble to the top of the key, looking to drive. Gets it over to Chapius. Chapius driving, left over, crossover dribble. And Chapius going, gets stuck in there. And Chinook comes up with basketball. Pitkinen and Cicero going to, and looks like she traveled there. Kicks it out to Swanson. Swanson puts it up and good for two, and 16-13, 1:30 to go. Beth with the basketball. Across the timeline, looking to set it up, gets it over to Chapius. Chapius looking underneath. Edgerton, shot off the backboard is good by Edgerton on a turnaround. A nice pass by Madison Chapius to feed Edgerton underneath, who had position. 18-13, 1:12 to go on the Bigfork Harvest Food scoreboard. Over to Suber. Suber on the baseline. And whistle blows a foul on Bigfork. We'll see who that is. Fouls on Meredith Bedford, her first, and the 18th foul. And so going to the line for a 1-and-1 is Lily Suber for Chinook. First shot up and good. (18-14), 1:05 to go here in the first half. Second shot up off the front of the rim and no good. And Barrett comes it up in the front court, but dribbles in the back court. That is a backcourt violation by the sophomore. And Chinook basketball picking it into Swanson over to Cicero. Cicero picking on 3-point shot on the left wing. No good. Benz with the rebound and pushing it out is Audrey Benz. She's going to hold it up with 50 seconds. Top of the key. Bigfork has the basketball. Benz looking to drive left. Drives in. Feeds up to Edgerton. Edgerton gives it to McAnally. McAnally on the drive. Off the backboard. A player control foul on Ashton McAnally. Taken there by Powell. And that'll be the 19th foul. No free throws as a player control foul. And that'll be the first on McAnally here in the first half. 35 seconds and counting. And Chinook slowing it down. Jade Cicero bringing it up. Gives it over to Pickett on the right side. On the right corner. Swanson with the basketball. Looking to get it out. And throws it to Cicero. Cicero on the left side. Throws it up. Turnover. And Barrett with the basketball. Looking to drive is Barrett. Well, gets it over to Chapius. Chapius going to feed it to Edgerton. Edgerton on the drive at the baseline all herself, and she's going to get fouled as she drives in, and she'll get 2 free throws. And that foul will be the second on number 4, Bree Swanson. And double bonus time, and she'll get 2 shots as she was in the act of shooting. Edgerton shot up. That's the ends they are. No, nothing but the bottom of the net on the first one. 19-14, a 5-point lead by the Valkyries with 7.6 to go. Second shot up and away is good. Splashdown. 20-14. Cicero driving up, looking to get the shot up. And fouls on number 14. That's Audrey Benz, her first 10th foul, double shot, 2-shot bonus for Jade Cicero. She makes the first one, and 2.9 to go. She'll get one more. And Valkyrie's got to push it up quickly to get an opportunity. Another shot, rebound, no good. Edgerton, Ben's got to shoot it, and gets up the court, no good. So your halftime score, it's the Bigfork Valkyries 20. And the Chinook Sugar Beaters 15 from Shelby, Montana. We'll be back with your halftime stats here from Shelby and the elementary school junior high gymnasium. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes and the Vals, with you here from Shelby, Montana. We'll get your stats here momentarily. Back in about 2 minutes. Well, welcome back to Shelby, Montana. And the Valkyries lead at halftime 20-15 on your Montana Athletic Club scoreboard. And halftime brought to you by the Montana Athletic Club. Was keeping you from getting fit with discounted guest passes, personal training, Pilates, and much, much more. 850 Holt Drive at Bigfork, 837-2582. Tennis, racquetball, handball, basketball, all kinds of things going on there at the Montana Athletic Club. And we'll take a look at the scores for Bigfork. First of all, Emma Barrett shooting 3 for 5 from the free throw line, and she scores 3. 3 for 4 is Benz from the free throw line with another 2-pointer, and she has 5. Scout Nadeau with 2. Ansley Edgerton leading the way with 8, and 2 by Ashton McAnally. 11 in the first, 9 in the second, and 20 overall here at halftime, and they lead the way. A much better job coming out today is Bigfork against a young team in the Sugar Beaters, as we'll take a look at their scores. And 3 points by Bree Swanson, a 3-pointer by Pitkinen, 2 by Jaden Miller. Lily Suber with 5, and 2 points by Powell. So Suber leading the way, 7 in the first and 8 in the second for 15 total. That leads to your halftime score of 20-15 by the Valkyries over the Sugar Beaters. So this will wrap up the games here after the second half, and the Vikings and Valkyries, who came here early, took on Malta last night, and then playing the boys taking on Belt, the Huskies, earlier, and then the Valkyries taking on Chinook. That'll wrap it up for this tournament, and they will head home tonight and be home for the weekend. And next action, we'll take a look here. If you don't have your, both teams will be in action next Tuesday. That is the 17th of December, as they head up to take on the Eureka Lions and Lady Lions. It will be JV and varsity only in those ball games, as Tuesday, December 7th, it is the Valkyries getting underway. They're JV at 3. That means the varsity will be about 6. Boys JV at 4:30 and boys varsity about 7:30. If you can't make it up to Eureka for the ball game, we'll have both ball games, weather permitting. I can get up there on BFSD events on YouTube as we go into some conference action early for both the Vikings and Valkyries, and taking on Eureka Lions and Lady Lions from Eureka, Montana. And then coming up Friday, the 20th, it will be the Valkyries on the road to take on Mission or St. Ignatius, and then the boys will be home, both JV and varsity taking on Mission. Game times 5:30 and 7. I'll be at home PA in those games, so there'll be no radio coverage from Mission for the Valkyries. But coming up Saturday, December 1st, it is Anaconda and a full day of basketball. The girls will play at 1, 4, and 7 against Anaconda, and the boys will play 11:30, 2:30, and 5:30 just before the Christmas break. So all that action at home. Chance to see both teams on Saturday, December 1st from the Bigfork Gymnasium. Come out and support your Bigfork Vikings and Valkyries basketball. Thanks again to my sponsors, the Bigfork Dental Center, the Bigfork Harvest Foods, and the Montana Athletic Club. If you're looking to sponsor, we can always use sponsors. You don't have to do the full season. You can do, a few games, and $25 a game. We'll cover that. If you want to do 4, it's $100. 8, half the season. Any donation or sponsorship is appreciated. And we're getting ready to go for the second half here from Shelby, Montana. and tipping off. It'll be McAnally, Santa Stephen, Benz, Ansley, Edgerton, and Beth to start the second half for Bigfork. The same starting five, and it looks like the same starting five as well for Chinook, Suber, Sislo, Pickenen, Miller, and Powell. And it will be Chinook's basketball inbounding. Up to Cicero. Cicero looking to drive. Knocked away by Benz. Picks it back up. Driving is Miller. Baseline. Out to Cicero, top of the key. Over to Pickenen. Pickenen over to Cicero. Ben's guarding her right there on the right wing. She looks to drive. Gives it down to Powell. Powell in the right corner. Grips it out. Gives it over to Suber. Suber looking to drive. Takes it up against Edgerton and held ball, and McAnally ties up Miller. It'll be Bigfork basketball on the arrow that points toward the Valkyries. Benz on the left side, looking to drive. Kicks it out to Beth. Beth looking to drive, and she's going to be fouled. Knocked over is Suber. And that'll be her second and first team foul. She'll look here in the second half. Benz feeds it up to Edgerton. Edgerton a little bit strong off the backboard, but Santa Stephen runs down the rebound. Feeds it out to Ansley. Edgerton at the right wing. Thought about shooting the three-point shot. Drives in, kicks it out to Beth. Beth, three-point shot on the way is good for three by Emma Beth. And a 23-15 lead now by the Valkyries with 6:55 to go. Cicero brings it up the front court, throws it over to Suber. Suber back to Cicero. Looking the core for Pickenen. Pickenen back to Suber, top of the key. Thought about shooting the three and dish it off to Pickenen. Pickenen's three-point shot on the way from the right wing is good. And 23-18, 6:35 to go. Benz quick up the court. Santa Stevens looking right wing, looking to drive. Kicks it out. McAnally on the drive. Feeds it under. Nice pass off the backboard from Edgerton on a nice pass by Ashton McAnally. Delay a game warning called against Bigfork. I'm not sure why. Ran back. So 25-18, the Valkyries lead. And Cicero brings it up the court. Suber with the basketball on the left wing. Feeds top of the gate. Cicero over to Pickenen on the right wing. Cicero stolen away by Beth. Beth, you're going to go coast to coast. Takes it up off the backboard. No good. And rebound there by Pickenen. And she travels as Benz puts on the pressure for the Valkyries. It'll be Bigfork basketball underneath. And Benz will take it out of bounds. Looking the inbound is Audrey. Look at the top of the key. She finds Santa Stevens. Santa Stevens comes up. Top of the key. Looking to drive to the right side. Brings it back to the top with the left hand. Kicks it out. Left side to Beth. Santa Stevens, top of the key. Long three-point shot on the way. Off the rim and no good. And Benz comes up with the rebound and kicks it down. Beth with a loose ball. Looking underneath. Finds Benz. Benz looking to drive. Finds Edgerton up and underneath. A nice pass, by Audrey. Benz feeds Edgerton at the front of the rim for two. 27-18, 5:29 to go. Cicero gives it up. Nearly throws it away. Suber with the basketball driving down the right baseline. Cut off by McAnally and stolen away by Santa Stevens. Santa Stevens driving up. Looking. Going to pull up, three-point shot by Santa Stephen. Off the rim and no good. Edgerton with the rebound. Puts it right back up for two. No, off the rim and no good. And Suber going to come up with the rebound for Chinook. She's pressured there by Benz. Benz is going to get called for the foul for Bigfork. And that is Audrey's second. And the first team foul here in the second half on the Valkyries. 5:03 to go, 27-18. The Valkyries up by 9. And inbound to Suber for Chinook. She drives in, stolen away by Beth. Right there, she can take up strong. And Suber comes back and fouls her. And Beth sinks the layup. And she'll go to the line to shoot the and one for the Valkyries. That is the third foul on number 34, Lily Suber. And the second team foul in the second half. And Beth will go to the free throw line to shoot the and one. as Bedford comes in for Santa Stephen. Barrett, shot up, and nothing but the bottom of that, 30-18, a 12-point lead. No, we can't do that. This is not pickup ball. I got to take it out of bounds. It has 24. Jaden Miller just tries to take it right in. Stolen away nearly by Beth. And off her feet, she's hustling tonight, is Emma Beth on defense. Come up with a couple of loose balls already on steals. And fed into Swanson, who's in the ball game for Chinook. Feeds it over to Cicero in the court of Pitkin. Looking. And she travels as she's looking to throw it to somebody. And number 12, Lexi Pitkin, travels on the play. Turnover to Bigfork. Give it into Bedford. Up to Benz. Benz top of the key for the Valkyries. She's going to give it over to the right side as coach calls out the play. Travels right side. Fills it to Barrett. Barrett's going to look to drive. Drive up and under. Off the backboard. No good. But Edgerton right there with the rebound. Off the backboard. A good by Ansley Edgerton. 32-18. 4:20 to go. Cicero trying to get it bounce. And Benz is going to steal it away. But before the turnover or the 5-second call, Chinook calls a 30-second timeout here from Shelby, Montana. 32-18, the Valkyries lead by 14 in this one over the Chinook Sugar Beaters, as Beth is playing a real good defensive game here in the second half. And a couple steals, and then rebounding, doing a better job rebounding this afternoon. So Bedford, McAnally, Ansley Edgerton underneath, Audrey Benz, and Emma Beth in the ball game for Bigfork. Now Nadeau goes to the score table, but you can't check in because it was after the first horn. Swanson, Cicero, Pickenen, Powell, and Miller for Chinook. Looking to pass. Good defense by Bigfork. Putting the pressure on Miller. Bedford right there. Cuts off Miller into the baseline. And Benz tries to get through there, and they get a player control foul. And that's going to be on number 2, Jade Cicero, her third, and the third team foul. And Scout Nadeau will come in to line up for Bigfork, replacing McAnally. Benz dribbles it up top of the key, finds Edgerton. Edgerton shot up and good inside the paint for 2. 34-18, 3:48 and counting. Into Cicero from Miller. Up in the front court is Cicero looking. Feeds it to Swanson. Swanson back door looking to find Miller. Miller kicks it out to Pickenen. Out to Cicero on the right wing. Looking to drive is Cicero. Kicks it out to Miller. Miller's shot on the way out the rim and no good. Rebound there by Audrey Benz, who's having a nice ball game. Kicks it up early to Barrett off the rebound and no good. But Scout Nadeau right there and puts it back up for the Valkyries. The Scout Nadeau. 36-18 as the Valkyries double up the Chinook Sugar Beaters. Cicero gives it over to Pickenen. Back out to Swanson. On the right wing, Cicero kicks it out. Back to Swanson. 3-point shot from the right wing by Swanson. And the rebound goes up. And nice job by Edgerton. She kicks it out. She can't get the rebound. She tips it to Nadeau. Nadeau gives it out to Benz. Benz will cross the timeline. Right wing. Right corner for Scout Nadeau. Looking to drive. Feeds up to Edgerton. Edgerton on the drive. Off the backboard. A good. A nice bounce pass there by Scout Nadeau. And Edgerton with another 2 points. 38-18. Up by 20 at the Valkyries. Cicero with the basketball. Gives it up. Pitkinen. Cicero 3-point shot from the top of the key and no good. And it's going to be locked out of bounds by the Valkyries. And looks like it will be Chinook's basketball. And checking in the game, it'll be number 21, Chapius. Also, Callie Martinez wearing number 30. And number 23, Nevaeh Carlin, the freshman for Bigfork. 3-point shot in the way, no good, misses everything. Nadeau will come up with the rebound and sloppy passes. She tries to feed Bedford, but unfortunately Swanson misses the basket, and Nadeau comes up with the rebound. Chapius bring it up the court, looking underneath, founds Carly Ooh, shot up, no good. Bedford with the rebound, puts it back up and no good as the ball is fed underneath. And to Nevaeh Carlin, and she puts that shot up, misses it. Bedford gets the rebound, puts it up, and no good, but she's fouled, goes to the free throw line for 2 for Meredith Bedford. First shot on the way, rolls off the rim, and just falls away, no good. And Cicero comes out of the ball game, and Lily Suber returns for Chinook. And Bedford will get one more with 1:55 here in the third quarter. Second shot, no good. Nadeau battling with Powell on the baseline. And Chinook with the basketball. Swanson driving up. Going to drive all the way to the basket, off the backboard, misses it. And Bedford comes up with the rebound for Bigfork. Looking, kicks it out. There's Chapius. Dribbling up the court, going to slow things down, looking underneath. And she feeds Callie Martins. And Callie travels on that. It'll be turnover to Chinook. And number 20, Anna Terry in the ball game for Chinook. Inbound to Swanson. Swanson in the backcourt takes it across the timeline, guarded by Chapius. Through the legs, and Callie Martins going to go coast to coast, put it up, and just misses the layup, does Callie Martins. And she'll go to the free throw line to shoot 2. First shot does not even draw iron. A little more leg there, Callie, to get it there. Probably a little bit nervous. Callie, just a sophomore, getting some playing time this game. This shot better, nothing but the bottom of the net for Callie Martins. And 39-18, 1:30 to go, or excuse me, 1:15 to go here in the first half. Suber with the basketball. Over to Terry, back to Suber. Powell blocked there by Chapius. Chapius and steals it away, and Bedford almost knocks it away, stolen by Chinook. Loose ball, and Powell with it, feeds it underneath, knocked away there by Nevaeh, and Swanson three-point shot too strong, and Powell gets it, feeds it out. Suber with a long three-point shot is good from the left wing, 39-21. Bedford inbound to Callie Martins. Martins brings it up the court. Look to feed it to Chapius, looking to drive. Callie Martins on the drive. She gets fouled. She go back to the free throw line, and she'll get 2 more here with 24.7 to go. The Valkyries leading by 18 on the Bigfork Dental scoreboard. 406-270-7384. If you're listening out there, first shot on the way off the front of the rim, and no good by Martins. Back in the ball game is number 24, Jaden Miller for Chinook here at the end of the third quarter. And Martins will get one more. Shot up, off the rim, no good, but now Nadeau gets the rebound, puts it up, and scores. Put it back up. It is number 23 for the Valkyries, Nevaeh Carlin. Swanson in the corner to Miller. Miller looking to drive. Loses it, and coming up with is Carlin with the basketball, and she's going to be tied up there by number 14, Anna Morrow for Chinook. So the Valkyries with a 41-21 20-point lead with 5.3 to go here in the third quarter. Into Swanson, over to Miller, back out to Morrow. Morrow's going to feed it. Throw it up, a three-point shot off the backboard is good by number 20, Anna Terry at the buzzer. She just throws it up, it bounces out the backboard, and the bank must be open late here on a Friday night as she scores that. 41-21, the Valkyries lead after 3 quarters here from Shelby, Montana. We're back momentarily with the fourth quarter as the Valkyries have the lead. All right, welcome back to Shepherd, Montana. Is Bigfork basketball here to close out the fourth quarter. Carlin puts it up off the backboard and they're good. And rebounded there by Suber. Suber goes up the court to Morrow. Or check that, Terry, who made that three-pointer. Kicks it underneath to Miller. Miller looking out. Pressure by Martins, and Martins getting called for the foul. And that'll be their second team foul and Callie's first. Or check that. Foul's called on number 10, Meredith Bedford. And her second, and the second team foul. Cicero back in, stolen away on the pass. Bedford comes up with it as Carlin is right there for Bigfork. And Bedford's going to drive all the way to the basket, off the rim, and they're good. And a player control foul on Meredith Bedford. Got to pull up and shoot that jumper. Can't take it all the way through the defender, as she tried to do there. And Chinook with the basketball. Cicero with the basketball gets it over to Suber on the left corner. Chapius right there. Scalabay 2 cuts her off baseline. Up by Swanson. Swanson with a jumper from the baseline for 2. And 41-26 with 7 minutes to go. Martins with the basketball. Across the timeline. Looking. Cross over to the left. Gives it up to Bedford. Bedford kicks it out. Scout Nadeau. 3-point shot on the way. And doesn't even draw iron. And Bedford, Martins, and Carlin will go out. Santa Stephen, Beth, and Edgerton come back in for Bigfork. Chinook with the basketball. Suber on the left side trying to drive. Gets on the floor and loses it out of bounds. Does Suber. Nice there. Sportsmanship there by Edgerton. She helps up Suber. 41-26, a 15-point lead. Inbound to Chapius. Back to Santa Stephen. Santa Stephen across the timeline for Bigfork. Bedford, or Beth, at the top of the key, right wing. Feeds it out to Santa Stevens. Baseline. Scout Nadeau. Nadeau looking. Finds underneath to Edgerton. Edgerton's shot up is short off the rim and no good, but a nice shot, nice feed there by Scout Nadeau. Chapius putting the pressure, riding. Number 34, Suber, up the court. That'll be the 14th foul and third personal on Madison Chapius. 6:14 to go in the ballgame. 41-26, the Valkyries lead. And feeds it over to Swanson. Swanson, left wing, looking to drive all the way across to Suber on the right wing. Steps up, throws up a three-pointer, and doesn't draw iron. Saved there by Powell, but back in, and Chapius comes up with the loose ball. Yeah, she throws it back in. Chapius will dribble it up the court. Looking. Fires. 3-point from the corner by Santa Stephen off the rim and no good, and rebound by Chinook. And the pressure by Nadeau and Beth causes Swanson to travel. And it'll be Bigfork basketball, underneath with 5:42 to go and leading by 15. Beth out to Santa Stephen, top of the key. Looking to drive is Santa Stevens. Going to kick it over to Chapius. Chapius at the top of the key, looking underneath. She's trying to find Edgerton. She does. Edgerton right there and misses, but Nadeau up. And Santa Stephen gets rebound, puts it up. The left hand is good. So 3 shots at it for the Valkyries, and they score 43-26, 5:20 to go. Chinook. And pressure by Bigfork causes Chinook to take another timeout on defense. 5:18 to go here on the Bigfork Dental scoreboard. 43-26, the Valkyries lead the Chinook Sugar Beaters. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes Vals with you. 406-270-7384. Text me, let me know you're listening out there and listening to the Valkyries basketball. So Valkyries putting on some pressure here late in the ball game. Plays a pretty good defense, and Chinook takes the timeout, and the Valkyries will drop back with 5:18 to go. And Suber will inbound to Cicero. Brings it across the timeline. Gives it over to Swanson on the left wing. Swanson gives it to Miller. Miller's shot is up and scores from the left elbow with 5 minutes to go. Santa Stephen across the timeline for Bigfork. Looking to drive. Scout and AD going to drive it all the way. Feeds it to Ansley Edgerton. And Powell's going to come up with the rebound and gives it out to Miller. Miller looking. And Beth is going to foul her in the front court, excuse me. That's a foul number 11 and the 15th foul, her second. 43-28, 4:45 to go. And checking in the ball game is number 20 for Bigfork. Yeah, it's Zoe Albert. Shot up by Chinook, no good. Beth with the rebound. And Beth going to bring it across the timeline. Gives it over to Santa Stephen, but Swanson knocks it away. And Santa Stephen will pick up the personal, the 16th foul. One more on each team, and both teams will be in the bonus with 4:26 to go. And Miller taking it out underneath. Feeds it into Powell. Powell shot up off the rim, no good. And Santa Stephen will run down the loose ball, dribbles it up the right side, slows it down, feeds it over to Barrett. Barrett looking, finds Edgerton. Turnaround jumper off the rim, off the backboard, and drops for Ansley Edgerton. 45-28, 4 minutes to go. Cicero across the timeline for Bigfork. Feeds it over to Suber. Underneath pass to Swanson, knocked away by Bigfork and out of bounds. Benz will come back in for Bigfork, and returning is Pitkinen and number 14 Anamaro for Chinook. So Nadu, Beth, Edgerton, Benz, and Albert for Bigfork. Shot by Chinook is good. 45-30, 3:49. Benz with the basketball. Looking to drive is Beth. Drives it all the way to the basket. No good. Just a little bit hard. Eddie to come up. Rebound off the backboard. No good. Beth comes up with the rebound. And knocked down is Emma Beth. And Cicero will come out with it for Chinook. Looks to feed it underneath. Too far. Knocked away by Bigfork. And out of bounds. It'll remain Chinook basketball onto their own basket with 3:30 to go. Meredith Bedford will return to the lineup for Emma Barrett. 23, Nevaeh Carlin back in for Bigfork, replacing Scout Nadeau. Inbound to Swanson. Swanson gives it over to Cicero, looking to drive as Cicero step back, throws it up off the rim, and no good. Edgerton right there, stolen away by Powell, and then rebounded by Chinook underneath. That's Morrow, gets it out to Pickenen and to Swanson. Swanson gives it to Morrow in the corner. Cicero on the drive, baseline, throws it off the rim and no good. And knocked out of bounds off of Chinook. And they're going to call a foul on the rebound on number 44, Allison Powell, her third, 17th foul. So to the line to shoot a 1-and-1, it'll be number 20. The freshman Zoe Albert for Bigfork and shooting a 1-and-1. Up and drains it, does Zoe Albert. So she gets in the scorebook. And 46-30, 16-point lead, 3:09 to go. Second shot is up and good, nothing at the bottom of the net by Albert. 47-30, inbound to Cicero. Cicero across the timeline, looking over to Pinkinen, top of the key. Feeds to Cicero, 3 points, throws it back door, knocked away, and Edgerton will come up with a rebound. Benz looking all the way up the court, finds Zoe Albert off the backboard and drops it to Zoe Albert as she leaks out, and a nice pass up the court. And Albert Howe has 4 points all here in the fourth quarter. 19-point lead, 49-30. Underneath, Edgerton will steal it, gives it up to Albert. She tries to dribble it, and Bedford will come up with the loose ball, feeds it up over to Carlin. Carlin back to Albert, back to Carlin, and can't make the basket. And it'll be a foul called on Bigfork. And we'll see who that number is that they call. Number 20, Zoe Albert. That is her first 17th foul to the line, shooting 1-on-1. Allison Powell for Chinook. Shot no good. Edgerton with the rebound. Bends quickly up the court. Right side, pulls it out. Going to set it up at the top of the key. Calls out the offense. Underneath, a nice pass to Carlin. Feeds it right to the basket for 2. And 51-32-11 to go. Cicero. Look the pass. It actually traveled, picking in. Cicero on the drive. Stolen away. And traveling is called on Cicero. And back in the ball game, it'll be Madison Chapius replacing Audrey Benz for Bigfork. And as well, it'll be Callie Martins replacing Edgerton. Martins with the basketball, dribbles, gives it to Zoe Albert. Zoe Albert looking, nice pass to Carlin. Carlin off the backboard and no good, and fighting, and she's going to get called for the reaching foul as Albert. And it will be on Carlin, her first 8th team foul, and a 1-and-1. Bedford comes out and back in to Scout AD, number 22, 51-31, 49 to go. And Jade Cicero up the line, shooting 1-and-1. Makes the first, so she'll get another, a 20-point lead by the Valkyries with 1:49. Makes the second. And Chapius will inbound it to Martins. Martins looking, drives over, gets it to Zoe Albert, backdoor to Carlin. And player control foul they're going to call on Carlin. I'm not sure how, they need to put a little arc underneath the basket. She was so far underneath, I'm not sure that's a good call. Inbound to Cicero. That's her second 19th foul, no free throws on a player control foul. Over, stole away by Martins, and she's knocked over by Suber. And Callie will go to the line, or check that, Zoe Albert on that. She'll go to the line and shoot 1-and-1 as that fouls the 4th on number 34, Lily Suber for Chinook. So Zoe, first shot up is good on a 1-and-1. That means she'll get the bonus, 52-32. And full timeout taken by Chinook. 1:29 to go here. And the Valkyries lead 52-32 over the Chinook Sugar Beaters from Shelby, Montana. To keep this up, it'll be a good ride home and a long ride home. I understand, according to the roads and the weather, headed that way, especially through Glacier National Park. Hoping to get the coach and at least one player here in the second half to talk to him at the end of this ball game, if I can get her attention and have her come up. And on the floor for Bigfork is 22 Scout AD, 30 Callie Martins, 20 Zoe Albert at the free throw line, 23 is Nevaeh Carlin, and 21 is Madison Chapius. And Zoe Albert will get one more. She scored 5 all here in the 4th quarter for Bigfork. Second shot up and on the way, and sinks it. So a 21-point lead by the Valkyries. Inbound to Pittman, to Cicero. Cicero looking to dribble. Pressure by Martins over to Pittman in the corner. Mara with the basketball. Or Terry, excuse me. Over to Cicero. Cicero looking to drive, throws it up. And rebounded by Powell. Stolen away on the rebound, missed by 34. Suber, and rebounded by Bigfork out to Scout AD baseline. to Callie Martin. She's going to put it up off the rim and no good. And Subaru's going to come with the rebound. Callie tried to come up and a held ball. And possession arrow belongs to Chinook with 53 seconds to go here in the ball game. Well in hand with a 21-point lead. Cicero brings it up, gives it up to Terry. Terry going to throw it, knocked away. But Scout Nadeau comes up with a loose ball looking to drive it up the court. And she feeds back to Martins on a nice pass. There's from Carlin. And 55-32, 25 seconds to go. Cicero brings it up, gives it over to Pinkinen. Back to Cicero, top of the key. Over to Terry. Terry, baseline, knocked away and blocked on the baseline by Chapius as Powell tries to get up. Martins goes up, and she's going to illegal dribble. 11.6 to go, 55-32, and the Valkyries lead. Inbound to Suber. Suber, 9 seconds and counting. Over to Pinkinen. 3-point shot from the right wing is on the way. No good. Rebounded by Scout Nadeau with 2 seconds to go. Stolen away by Subaru. The buzzer will ring, and your final is the Valkyries 55 and the Chinook Sugar Beaters 32. We'll be back momentarily. I'm going to get your full game stats and see if I can get Coach Gunlock and at least 1 or 2 players up here. All right, you're getting Courtney Gunlock back here. The coach is going to put a headset on and adjust the volume and see. Can you hear me in this?
No.
How about now? Can you hear me at all?
A little bit in the left side.
How about now?
In the left side only.
Yeah, you'll probably only hear me in that side.
Okay.
You talk, I can hear you. So I'm here with first-year head coach Courtney Gunlock. Nice job today in that ball game. It seemed they came out ready to play and did a lot better job on the boards, taking care of the basketball. Tell me your feelings about the game.
I thought we started a little slow. We were kind of tired from last night, I think. And so I think we played their game for the first half, as I told the girls at halftime, and then I told them to come out and play their game, and they did that. So our second half was much better. We played how we want to play basketball.
Well, it looked like to me they're underneath and people were driving and then dish it into Ansley, and Ansley was starting to make those little bunnies. And even here at the end, the freshmen getting in underneath and feeding to each other. Mm-hmm. If you do that, attack the middle,
yep,
to make up a few threes, that made the difference.
Absolutely. We stressed that at halftime, that the drive and the dish was there, and they performed that well in the second half.
Well, a nice win. I won't take much of your time because I know we're trying to get ready to get on the bus and get headed. But I thought a key there, especially in the second half, was the defensive play of Emma Barrett and the steals she made, and that led to some breakout points and really pushed you guys out to the lead. What do you think about that?
I agree. I said I want to go out fast and hard. I want to get some steals and get 10 points on the board, and they did that. So I was very proud of them the second half.
Well, nice job, Coach. I'll let you go, and I'll talk to a couple of the players. But thank you for joining on the postgame, and good luck. So we'll be on the radio again next Tuesday as you take on the Eureka Lady Lions up there. So I know you're looking forward to that as well. So.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to going up there and playing.
Nice job today, and good job, Coach.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I'll bring in either Emma Barrett or Edgerton. Who wants to come first? I'll talk to you. I'll make it real quick so you guys get showered, get on the bus, and get out. So we're going to talk to Ansley first, and she can probably hear me, hopefully. Yeah. So Ansley Edgerton, nice job. I'm not sure I don't have the final stats from Bonnie. Usually I get those stats to see how many scored, but it looked like you were getting loose underneath. People were driving and dishing to you. You guys were really attacking the basketball. How do you feel about that ball game?
I feel good about it. I feel like that we played our game coming in through the second half, and we just really connected as a team more and getting the dishes. And, yeah, I just think we did it. Really good job at that.
Hey, nice job. I see you relaxing your free throws.
Yeah.
And then playing those nothing but the bottom of the net. That was good to see.
Yeah.
You guys relaxing. And my thing was you guys were attacking inside and taking it right to them, to Chinook.
Yeah.
They're a younger team, those seniors, but that's what you have to do against teams like that. And great job.
Thank you.
Well, I'll let you go so you can and I'll talk to Emma real quick, but thanks, and good luck next week when we head up Tuesday up to Eureka and conference starts against the Lady Lions.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Ansley. All right, I'm here with sophomore Emma Barrett, and talking with Emma, I thought your key, what you did great tonight, I thought you were really aggressive on defense and made a few steals and a couple fast breaks and getting out. What do you think about that? What did Coach tell you?
She just told us that we weren't really playing our game the first half, so that gave me a lot of motivation the second half, and I didn't feel like my offense was there, so I wanted to make up for it on defense. So that was what was pushing me to get after it.
Yeah, you made, 2 or 3 steals, and then you had the drives to the bucket and finish with layups or go to the free throw line and did a great job there. You guys played much better as a team, especially in the second half, and really took it to Chinook being aggressive. I'm not sure what any of your stats are because I don't have them. Otherwise, I'd quote them. So, hey, great job today. A big win for you guys. It's always, and it should make for a nice bus ride home, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
So how'd you feel about the team?
I love the team. The freshmen are amazing, and the seniors are turning into great leaders, which has been amazing. And I love Courtney and Brandy and Coach Jasper, who wasn't able to be here, but this team is amazing, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people this year.
Well, I thought you did a really good job too, as well as even when the freshmen got in, and you could tell that those freshmen have played together. Because they were driving in and dishing it. Carlin and Nadeau and Chapius and Zoe Albert. Albert had 6 points, 4 for 4 on free throws, and scored a bucket. Did a nice job as well.
Yeah, definitely. The freshmen are surprising a lot of people this year.
Well, nice job today. I'll let you go so you guys can get showered up and get going. First time on the interview. Thanks for joining me, Emma Barrett, and thank you, Ansley Edgerton. Great job, great win. We'll get ready to get on the bus. All right, this is the final from here at the Valkyries with a big 21-point win, and they'll head home on a nice bus ride and get ready for Eureka Lady Lions in conference play next week. Wrap things up. This is James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes, the Vals from Shelby, Montana. As the Valkyries take this one, I believe the final was, let me double check. I should have wrote this down. I know they won. I think it's 55-20 or 32 was the final. And we'll check that here. Yes, 55-32 final as the Valkyries pick up their first win over the Chinook Sugar Beaters from Shelby, Montana. thanks for joining me today on the broadcast. It was great to hear the coaches and the players after the ball game, and we'll see you next Tuesday as the Valkyries and Vikings head up to conference play, taking on the Lions and Lady Lions from Eureka, Montana. Once again, James LaFontaine, the voice of the Vikes of Vals from Shelby, Montana. Thank you, wherever you are. Have a great night.